Okay, so it is 5:02, so let's just get started so we don't have to take up too much of Meredith's time because we're so grateful to have her on our call tonight. So Meredith, basically, since I was on your call, me and Kel, we stole your welcome new coach idea. And so I just thought that was funny. And I also wanted to say to everyone here, like, this is just another way that we all continue to learn from each other. And like, there's nothing wrong with taking things that you see that other people or other coaches are doing and then just make it work for you. So, you know, me and Kel were like, that was smart. Why don't we do that? So basically I just copied it almost word for word. And so that's what we're doing at the beginning of every call now. And then Kate's going to go over recognition. I'm trying to make sure that when you get on, you guys mute yourselves. I think everyone's muted, but just try to remember when you hop on. And then later, if we do have time for a Q&A, we would unmute that. But I don't know if we're gonna have time because we gave Meredith like a lot of questions. So,
okay. My foot was like hurting more with it on.
Okay, now she's muted. Okay, so let me do my screen share here. Okay, so you guys can all see that, right? I can't see you anymore, so hopefully, yes. So welcome new coaches. So this is for everyone that is, brand new. We're going to go over this like every call just so we can reiterate it over and over again and just to get the point across. So your first goal as a new coach, doesn't matter where you're at with your journey, you need to be doing a Beachbody challenge of some sort. You need to commit to a program and finish it through and through. So that is one of the vital behaviors. That is how we are a product of the product, and it's how you're going to get credibility and be able to help your customers. Second of all, you need to complete your first 30 action plan under the training tab on your Coach Online Office and complete the new coach email that your coach sent to you. So you'll get an email from Beachbody, but then depending on who your upline is, you might get a welcome email from them. So you'll want to make sure that you are completing all of the action steps on both of those, to get your business started and, get going with everything. So number 3, get on a GSR call with your coach after you've completed the training. So different coaches have different times that they will offer this. So that will be information in your welcome email as well. GSR is getting started right call, in case anyone missed that. The next thing you want to do as a new coach is make sure that you hit Success Club 6. Find your first 3 challengers or coaches. Ideally, it'd be great if those first 3 challengers were also coaches, because that would get you to Emerald. But his Success Club 6, that basically is helping 3 people get started. That's how you're going to move your business forward. That's how you're going to get started. That's how you're going to build a team. And that's also how you make enough income, even off the bat, just earning your own investment back. So that's really important. And you want to make sure that's a non-negotiable to do that every single month. And you can also become a success starter and earn your free ticket to Summit. So if you hit Success Club your first 3 months, you get a free ticket to Summit. So I did that, and it was totally changed my whole business, because getting to Summit is something you should do anyways, but getting a free ticket is that much better. Then the 5th thing is you want to make sure that you're doing your 4 vitals every day, no matter what. A few weeks ago, we did a call where we went over all the 4 vitals in depth. If you don't know what those are, refer back to your coach training. You can Google it. Anytime you forget anything, you guys can Google it. But the 4 vitals are basically the backbone to our business. So you want to make sure that you know what those are and that you're doing them every single day. And then lastly, this kind of goes with number 4, advance to Emerald, because if you are getting people signed up as challengers and coaches, it'll happen pretty quickly, but that just means 2 coaches underneath you. And once you get to Emerald, you basically help your coaches do the same thing, and you just repeat. You just get to Emerald, you repeat, get to Emerald again. You're just constantly staying in phase 1 and building your business by creating emeralds and helping your coaches duplicate what you are doing. All right, let me get out of here.
And then I'll screen share for the recognition. OJ is just being a ham right now. Hold on. Okay, where did I do it? And you guys just get to see it on Canva, because that's what I'm doing right now. I just finished it again. Okay, so we have a ton of people who are in Success Club and with points on the board. Like, oh my gosh, I'm kind of in awe right now of our team and proud of every single person because we still have 11 days left in March. We are 20 days in, so this is everybody who is in Success Club right now and then with points on the board. So we have our top coaches, Amber Bayer at Success Club 36 and Kelsey Barbuti at Success Club 30. We have myself at Success Club 16. We have Megan Rowe at Success Club 12. So I did Anna and Carly at the same one because I couldn't find individual pictures. But we have Anna Moore at Success Club 12 and Carly Peters at Success Club 8. So I want to shout these girls out because if you don't know, I've heard of them through Amber and I see their points on the board and they're sisters and they're rocking this business together and it's really cool to see that. So we also have Allison Wren at Success Club 8. We have Jessica Steinhibler at Success Club 8. We have Amanda Marcano at Success Club 8 and Lindsay Hayward at Success Club 6. And then tons of people who are almost there. Everybody with Success Club 4, Eden C, SC4, Dylan S, which is Dylan, my boyfriend at SC4, Maya A, SC4, Roseanne S, SC4, Adam C, which Adam and Roseanne are actually Jessica. She built 2 emeralds underneath her. So she's going diamond on Thursday. Shout out to Jess really quick because she has worked her butt off to make that. But those are both her dad or her mom and her boyfriend's accounts are both at SC4. And she's at SC8 herself. So we also have Barbara R at SC4, Amanda D at SC4, Lindsay Z at SC4, and then everybody with points on the board. Laura G, SC2, Crystal H, SC2, Elizabeth S, SC2, Leanne S, SC2, Jessie L, SC2, Erica A, SC2, Jessica G, SC2, Brianna M, SC2, Zoe, SC2, Travis L, which I know is actually Kel, SC2, Lisa S, SC2, and Sandy D at SC2. So many people are so close to hitting Success Club, sorry. Everybody is just like 1 or 2 points. So I really encourage you by like Thursday, I would pretend honestly the next 2 days are the last 2 days of the month and like act like it is then and just pull it out now. So you guys have 10 days and I really just encourage you to make it happen now so you're not stressing in the last 24 hours, but really proud of everybody. And I'm sure Meredith will be sharing her gold nuggets on all of this tonight. So.
Okay, so I was going to officially introduce Meredith. I want to make sure I like there's so many like cool things that she's achieved. So let me just make sure that I'm like saying this all right. Because I was like, what are all your things? I need to know because it's like there's so much. Let me pull it up really quick. Okay, so she's a Success Club All-Star legend with 54 months in Success Club, 4-time elite coach, 4-time in the top 100, an NWC presenter, and a 6-figure earner. And she is somebody that's been inspiring me since I became a coach. And it's just really, I'm really like fangirling right now that she gets to be on our call because I just feel like I've learned so much by just being on the same team as her and then just, you know, like basically what we do is we look to other coaches to see what they're doing so we could try to, you know, make it our own. And like, she's definitely someone since the beginning that I was like, I resonate with that person. And she shows me that like, you can be you and have a holistic approach to this whole Beachbody thing. And so, yeah, just excited to have her here.
That nice welcome. It's so funny because I fangirl you guys all the time, but you know, you know that it's a reciprocal fangirl girl crush situation. And you know, the coolest thing with what you've been given, you know, you've been given this business really on a silver platter, and it's just really up to you to implement the pieces, to plug and play them and do the work. But the coolest thing is community. And honestly, you know, so Amy Silverman is my sponsor. So we're all on the same team, and like, you guys have to make it an absolute non-negotiable to get to our events and our leadership events, so you can meet your success partners and you can meet these women that you're going to essentially be like running with. And so I've had the honor really of going on trips with Amber and Kate now for quite a while. So I've gotten to know them over the years. We've done special dinners and all sorts of different things. So it's a very, very awesome family feel, but you really have to like push yourself to step up as a leader and get to diamond and like be seen as a leader. So you can, you know, you can kind of be part of the jam. So, okay, so I'll share a little bit about my story, and then I will answer the questions that were sent to me. I haven't really looked over them too much. I just kind of glanced at them. So it'll just be a really organic conversation. And if you guys want to ask questions at the end, you can. I do have to be on my call at 6 sharp. So there is a time budget, but I'm happy to give you as much time as you guys need. You can pick my brain. So a little bit about me. Before I found coaching, I was teaching yoga full time. So I taught between 16 and 18 yoga classes a week. So when I say it was full time, it was my gig. I was hustling paychecks around town. I had a certification in holistic health, which basically it's a holistic health practitioner certification. So in my opinion, it's very much like scratching the surface on all things health and well-being. And then what do you do with it? You know what I mean? Like, this is the only business that I know they give you the business on a silver platter and plug and play it. Like, it's like when you graduate from college, you know, you're not guaranteed a job. You don't always know what to do with your degree. And it was the same with my certification. I had scratched the surface on all these different aspects of health and wellness that I really liked. But for me, it was a lot of just going down my own personal wellness journey with it. So I got tied in with the yoga studio. I was teaching detox and wellness courses. I actually started to work for a superfood company out here in San Diego. Had a food blog where I did a lot of healthy living food and that sort of thing. But, you know, I was tired. I was burnt. I was, like I said, working full time. I had a whole bunch of side gigs, from like privates to teaching cooking classes at people's houses, all sorts of stuff. And at the time I found coaching, I want to say I was 38. So I've been coaching for 4.5 years, dating myself. but the point being is that there is a point where like you have to question, are you going in the direction you want to go, even if you're enjoying what you're doing? So I enjoyed what I did for a living, but I was tired and I could barely keep a roof over my head, right? Like, I was earning enough to pay the bills and a little bit more, but I didn't get to take trips unless I was like working on a trip, like a yoga retreat. I didn't get to live out life. You know, I couldn't go and get a massage unless I promised someone I'd do it on trade and I'd give them a private yoga class instead. I couldn't, you know, go shopping for myself because my budget only allowed a small amount of things, like to buy yoga pants so I could actually do that. You know, I lived at the laundromat because 18 hot yoga classes a week, you can imagine all the clothes I would go through, and we didn't have the money for a washer and dryer, you know? So it was like, I lived at the laundromat. So it's just a very different lifestyle. So when I found coaching, it was less for the actual, I didn't know I'd be where I'm at right now. We'll say that. Okay. So when I found coaching, I was at a space in my life. I was looking for two things. I was, one, looking to shift my health and fitness. So I already did the green juice thing. I already ate healthy, but I didn't live in the body that I felt that I should be living in for the way that I took care of myself, which was very frustrating, right? Like, that you would preach health and wellness, but you would just feel stuck all the time. So I had that. I didn't have the endurance I wanted. I didn't have the strength I wanted. But there was also a second side of me that was very hungry for developing some sort of online presence with what I already knew with health and wellness. So I was following a lot of sort of fit girl accounts and healthy living accounts and seeing girls that had ebooks. And I was just trying to investigate how you could take a business like this online. And it's essentially how I ran into my coach. So I started to buy random programs and considered them like tax write-offs for two reasons. One, I wanted to like do them and see if it would change my health and my body, but also I wanted to see what these other individuals were marketing. So when I fell upon Amy, she was marketing a 60-day fitness transformation challenge. And I don't remember a lot about it. I just remember she said it was 25-minute workouts, which for someone who didn't love fitness was like, that sounds like I could bite that off and chew it. And she also mentioned in that same post something about coaching. And if you enrolled as a coach, you would have the opportunity to earn your investment for free. And that she was taking 5 people that wanted to be a coach, or it was something along those lines. That might have not been verbatim. And so I reached out to her interested because I thought to myself, one, like, I need to do a challenge to shift my body. And the story she was telling was showing me on her social media that this program was working for her. She was showing that she was working out in her garage. So it was very accessible and something I could do. I saw some of the moves and I knew I didn't need like heavy weights or anything like that. And what else? And when I reached out, I also was like reaching out about the coaching part. So I'm like, okay, how can I do it for free? I feel like I could step to the plate and potentially coach people, whatever that means. So I actually hesitated when I signed up. As soon as I found out it was Beachbody, there was major pushback. Not because I didn't like Beachbody. I owned a lot of Beachbody programs. I'd had success with a lot of Beachbody programs I'd bought from infomercials, but I didn't believe it's what I needed or wanted. I didn't understand. So, you'll hear sometimes your sponsor coach or your upline say the fortune is in the follow-up, and it truly is, because if she wouldn't have leaned into my hesitations, reminded me of the goals that she had asked me and I had told her I had, and said to me like, listen, why don't you just get started? Who do you know that wants to join this challenge with you? 3 people, and you can earn your investment back for free. And if not, it's a money back guarantee. You have nothing to lose. But if you don't take that leap, you're always going to wonder what if, and you could have this incredible transformation that you're only getting in your way for. So obviously I took the leap. So to make a long story short, that was sort of my entryway. I got through T25. I was having great results. I was sharing my results. And in such, I was able to, move challenge packs. I was signing people up. I was bringing in clients, if you will, because I was sharing my results. I was inviting, I was talking to people about it. I looked better. I felt better. So when I went out, people would ask me what I was doing, or I drive the conversation. So like, oh, I'm doing this fitness challenge thing right now. Just a very organic conversation with people. But at 3 months into my challenge, my back went out. So I used to have chronic back issues. I still have some, but I used to have chronic back issues. And there was a point that my back literally, it like broke essentially. So my L4-5 disc herniated and slipped down my spine. And what that did was compress the nerve tissue and leave me with what's called drop foot. So when you have drop foot, it's like you drag your foot around. It's literally like a dead fish. I was completely paralyzed in my left foot. I had very limited motor function in my left leg. I was bedridden, and I was waiting for my insurance to give me some sort of clearance for, medicine, to clear surgery, for painkillers, and for all of that. So it was a long waiting period. During that interim, I essentially lost my job, right? My job at 38 years old is teaching yoga. I couldn't drive anymore. I couldn't walk anymore. I couldn't use my body anymore. Do you know how fast it was for those studios to find a girl that was half my age that was willing to work for a fraction, not even half, but like a fraction of what I was earning at the studio as a senior teacher? Do you know how easy it was for them to replace me? I was replaced like this. So even though some of my classes were still there when I was able to return to yoga, not all of them were. So that in that moment, I had no idea. The practitioners that I'd go to see, chiropractors, doctors, sports medicine doctors, they would be honest with me and say, listen, we don't know if you're ever going to get motor function in your foot back. Through surgery, there is a good percentage that you might, but we can't guarantee it. Like, you have paralysis. This is a big freaking deal. So I didn't know if I would ever walk again. I didn't know if I was ever going to be able to use my body the way I always had. And so I was really up against the wall. I was between a rock and a hard place. And that's when this coaching opportunity got really real. And it's when, instead of just like signing people up for a challenge pack and like growing my team by upgrading some customers and helping a few people and having a few friends do this with me, I understood there was a different intention. It went from that to, I need to build a team. I need to recruit other people in that can have the same mission and serve the same purpose. And I have a way to help them through them getting financially fit, right? And a way to help them get physically fit. And I can all do that. I can do that just from my couch. I can do that while laying on my back. And it was also a great opportunity outside of just helping them, helping my boot campers and the women that were already in my community have a better support system, because I could only do so much. I could only show up in so many ways. I could do my nutrition. I could drink my Shakeology. I could show what I was doing with my containers. But the reality was, I was only able to motivate them on fitness to a certain extent, right? Like, I could tell them to go, but I'm never going to show what I'm doing with them. So the intention became very different. And so I started to reach out to individuals like me. And I think this is such a key component to when you're building a team, is you really have to understand who you are. who you are and what mission you want to accomplish with your team. Because the reality is, I don't think most people sign up to be a Beachbody coach. Like, I didn't sign up to like have the name Beachbody coach. But if you get to the foundation of what that means to you, the fundamental elements of what that means to you, you can find a mission in it, whether it's, you know, because you want to help other women have body positivity, help other women with self-love, help other women with a plant-based wellness journey, help other women that, you know, that are moms that can't leave the house and want to get fit at home, or whatever it is, right? Like, you have an underlying reason why you're doing that. And that becomes a mission. And when you find what your mission is and what you really want to, how you want to create change in this world, how you want to show up, like that, you know, our 6 fundamental human needs, 2 of them are significance and contribution. So it's like, how do you want to be significant and how do you want to contribute? And when you figure out what that is, you figure out your team mission, you get really clear on who you want to invite in with you. So for the time, at that very time for me, it was clear that my market were individuals that were like me. So women that taught yoga, they taught boot camps, they loved health and wellness, they loved all the things I loved. However, they weren't really making any money at it, or the studio was giving them some money on the side, but like basically they were more or less getting robbed, right? Like the studio would run a boot camp for $450 and they would ask you to intern for free. So you would be there doing like karma service hours and helping out so that you could do the program for free, but you weren't getting paid. So I quickly saw this entire market of people that I could be helping so that they could do these amazing boot camps. They could run amazing boot camps and they could be earning income. So my mission over time evolved from helping yoga teachers become financially fit through taking on an online platform to really the fundamental of why I went into coaching altogether, which was a mission to really spread optimal wellness and help people get resources to live a happy, healthier life, right? Whether that's with nutrition, plant-based living, which I'm a huge advocate of, with movement. And I say movement, not like just hardcore fitness, but whether it's yoga, whether it's Pilates, whether it's, you know, gentle movement or a hardcore fitness program. And the beautiful thing is Beachbody gave me these plug and play tools to be able to do it with. So once I knew who I was and what my mission was, it was really easy to start to find people like me because they studied the same programs I studied. They read the same books I read. They eat the same way I eat. They care about the same things I care about. And a lot of them dress the same way or buy the same household products or skincare products or what have you, because we buy them with intention. We buy them with purpose behind them. So that's really, you know, I feel like the biggest, I guess, my story, right, about how I got into coaching and how my business took off. Because when I was so crystal clear about who I was inviting in for the opportunity, I was finding people that were just like me, and they became driven by the same things that I was driven by. And we had a mission that we could run with together. So that's where it started. I'm going to go through these questions and answer them. And then if you guys do you guys have any questions yet? Like Amber or Kate? I just want me to go into the questions. Okay, let's go into these questions. So the first question was, I don't have these in any order, but what's your biggest tip for attracting coaches who want to build a business? So I think I kind of answered that, right? My biggest tip for finding people that want to build the business, so there's 2 parts. One is knowing who you are, knowing who you're reaching out to, why you're reaching out to them, right? What is the mission and why you're actually reaching out to them? But presenting the business. Like, you can't, if you guys are just talking about the challenge and that's all you're talking about is your 80-day challenge, your 21-day challenge, your 3-day refresh or whatever, you're going to get customers that want to do that. But if you're specifically talking about the business of coaching, like that you're able to pay your electric bill, that you were able to shop at Whole Foods that week, that you were able to replace some hand-me-downs with some like really nice pair of jeans that you wanted, you know, whatever it is to you that speaks to you into your market, when you're able to share that in the freedom that coaching is providing you, you're going to find other people that want those same freedoms and liberties in their life. So biggest tip for attracting new coaches is share those things on the business building opportunity, connect with the people that are like you with a similar mission and cause. What else? There's so many other things. Business, attracting people. And then stepping into a leadership role, right? Like you have to be willing to invest in yourself and grow yourself and talk about that growth that you're on. Because if you're unwilling to do, like, I think a lot of people, they like pick up You Are a Badass and they're like, that's awesome. It's a great book. But what about all the other personal development books? Like if you're not picking up your personal development book and tapping into the leadership side of it and cultivating a vision for what you want, not just a year in the future, but 5 years in the future and 10 years in the future, you're missing the boat, because you need to reverse engineer your goals, right? You need to know what your team looks like in a year, 2 years, and 5 years from now. You need to know what your team looks like in 10 years from now. Because even though that might sound like, oh my gosh, I don't even see myself standing on stage at Summit. Like I can kind of visualize it, but what does my team look like? Like those shoes are really big, but you have to put those big shoes on and start to just wiggle your feet in them and feel them. You've got to take every single action that your upline sponsor tells you. Like if they're telling you to go live, you've got to go live. If they're telling you to talk to more people, you've got to talk to more people. If they're telling you to run sneak peeks in the business opportunity, you've got to do it. You've got to kind of try everything. I'll be honest. You just kind of keep throwing things at the wall, up at the wall, and see what sticks. But those are my biggest tips for attracting people to the business. What's your favorite way to recruit? Like coach sneak peeks or upgrading challengers. I run a coach sneak peek at least once monthly. I generally do it more for the team than for me. I find that I do the best when I have one-on-one conversations with individuals that are like me. They're connected conversations, they're heart to heart. So again, if I'm finding someone, most of my coaches that run their business don't sign up as a challenger and upgrade to a coach, or if they do, it happens really fast and the coaching seed has already been planted. So we might have had a conversation on the front end about them becoming a coach and joining the team. And through the process of talking to them, they may have been like, you know what, I'm not sure I want to do that yet. I want to try the program first, which I deeply value and respect and understand anybody wanting to go down a journey before they endorse something. So generally speaking, if that's the case and they get started, once they've tried the program, once they've gotten a couple days in, once they've had Shakeology, that upgrade's going to happen really quick. I'm not going to wait till the next bag is Shakeology, right? I'm going to let them know we have a coach training coming up in a few days. Like, if you're loving this, let's get you set up now and let's get you started now. Like, while you're at the beginning of your journey, who do you know that would want to join the boot camp with us? Like, let's do this together and get your girlfriends in. You're super excited. It's super fun right now. This is going to be the best time. So, my favorite way to recruit is simply reaching out to women that are like me and having connected conversations about it. And again, I run a sneak peek for my team every single month. I'm running one on Tuesday. I'll probably run another one in a week, just with some other people that I run them with. But I feel like I do those more for the team. I generally don't talk to people about upgrading as a discount coach. I don't discount my discount coaches. I think every coach on the team is incredibly invaluable. And I also feel like this is where some people miss the boat, is when you have a discount coach, you can't expect, such a horrible name, but you can't expect if someone enrolled for the discount that they're ever going to want to run the business. But at the same time, you also can't prejudge that they don't want to run the business. So you have to give everybody the same opportunity. If I were to enroll somebody as a coach, I generally haven't reached out and said, hey, do you want to upgrade as a coach just to save the 25%? Generally, I'm reaching out to them to say, hey, I really feel that you should be a coach because of XYZ reasons, right? Like whatever the reason is, if they're presenting themselves in our groups, or if they need higher accountability, if they're not showing up, I'm going to say the same thing. Like, you need to become a coach so you start showing up for yourself, because when you take on that role and that name and you get in our bigger community, you show up for yourself differently, right? So I'm going to have those conversations with them. And if I get pushback at all, then I'm going to say something like, well, at least save yourself 25% and sign up for the discount and just use it as a member exclusive opportunity. And don't even consider actively coaching anybody right now. But down the line, if you want to, we certainly can talk about it. So I'm rarely like upgrading people specifically just for the discounts. Every person that does join the team, however, whether they are excited to get going right away or they are quote unquote a discount coach, they're going to get the same welcome email. They're going to get the same steps. They're going to go into my personally sponsored page. They're going to have an invite to my team page. And I think that's crucial, because even if today they sign up and they're like, I'm not ready to look at coaching yet, but they're in the team page and they start seeing other girls on the team having big wins and successes, who am I to say that woman is not going to decide that she wants to ride this wave? Or like today, I have a coach in my group. She's an Emerald coach. And she hits Success Club inconsistently. She tells me she works her business. We've had conversations about it. But today was a day that like her husband got fired and her back was against the wall, right? Like she was someone who started with 21 Day Fix and upgraded to coach. She was kind of doing a little bit on the side, paying for her Shakeology. She was more of a hobby coach. But today was the day her back was against the wall. And she said, I'm going to run this business. What if I had never given her the opportunity to do any of those things? Like she'd be starting at square one right now, right? And she needs to already be moving. She needs to already have conversations generated and challengers working with her that she can start upgrading if she wants to reap the financial rewards to be able to take care of her family. So that's my favorite way to recruit. Best tips on mentoring coaches. I think best tip on mentoring coaches. For me, probably the best tip I can give you is to, take the time to connect one-on-one on the front end and let them know what you expect from them and what your boundaries are, right? So like when I'm on my Getting Started Right call with a new coach, I already know they've already sent me the questions before a GSR call, I have a set of questions, they hit me back. I know what their intention is. I know if they want to run the business. I know if they just really want help on their nutrition program. Oh, and one of the things that I was saying that I think I didn't finish saying was, I think one of the biggest mistakes that coaches make is they forget about their discounters. Their discounters are just kind of there on the team. And the reality is that person's a discounter most likely because they need more accountability than anybody else. So you don't need to hold their hand with the business, but you do need to check into them time to time and plug them into the groups, and just say, hey girl, I haven't seen you posting, want to make sure you're doing good. Do you need help with a change in your flavor of Shakeology? Do you want to get on a 3-day refresh with me? Like, how are you feeling right now? Are you on track with your nutrition? And that follow-up is so fast. It's literally a memo that you can send on Facebook that's like, hey girl, I haven't seen you in a bit. How are you doing? How's your nutrition? That's it. Right? So it's a really simple conversation starter. And if they want you, they're going to respond. And if they don't, they're going to ghost, and that's fine. Right? But again, when it comes to mentoring coaches, be clear on your boundaries. So like on a Getting Started Right call, I can let people know what I expect of them, as far as like hitting Success Club in their first month, finding their first 3 challengers so they can get started on their Success Starters program, advancing their business to Emerald. These are things that show me that you're interested in the business. And so as you move your business forward, I will be there to support you. If you're not doing that, if you're not doing the work behind the scenes, the inviting, the following up, and these things that you need to achieve these accolades of Success Club and Emerald and ranking up, you're not going to see me as much. And it's not because I don't love you. I'll check in on you time to time to see how you're doing on your nutrition. But if you're serious about your coaching business, right, I'm going to match your pace. I'm going to meet you where you're at. So having that sort of set of boundaries, even with my challengers, every single challenger that I get that's a non-coach, I get them on a Getting Started Right call and we talk about the program. We get them started right. I let them know, like, you're going to go into my Bikini Boot Camp challenge group. I post in there every single day, my own personal accountability. It is up to you to keep yourself accountable. If I don't see you, I'll check in here and there. But after a couple weeks, if you're still not checking in, that is on you. You need to show up for you. You made this investment in your health. So I really turn the responsibility onto them. And then of course, if the people are like ghosted for a long time, then I'll follow up and be like, okay, you probably need to be a coach because you need to get your shit together because you've pieced out so fast and so far and I haven't seen you and you spent $180 on this. So like, let's wrap it up. Right. So there is like that following up, but I think as far as mentorship goes, not hand holding, setting boundaries, but giving the people support that they need. So, it's hard to say because everybody's business, it looks different as far as like how many people you're bringing on at a time, and whether you can do like message pods or that sort of thing. But if you have a success partner, or say there's 4 of you working together and each of you has 2 new coaches in that month, you guys might want to create, a little pod where there's 8 girls working together that are pushing for Success Club. So don't forget about your success partners and these women on your team. They're going to be women that you're going to be growing with, just like how Amber and Kate and everybody and Kelsey all run their calls together. I run calls together with my teammates as well. And we're all there to help run another. We run little push threads together and whatnot. So that's probably the best feedback I have for mentoring coaches. Obviously, if the people want to do the work and you ask for things like a business activity tracker and you're not getting that weekly, it shows them that it shows you that they're not doing the work. If they're not hitting Success Club monthly, they're not doing the work. You know, you can follow up and say, hey, how, like, I mean, you don't even need to say how interested are you? Like, I think sometimes people see people not doing the work and then they're like, no, well, you know, how interested are you? Well, they're clearly not interested. So you just need to move on and find more people. Tips on time management. I'm the worst person to ask about that. Time management and organization are not my forte. If you could see my desk right now, or my laptop, my desktop, my actual physical desktop, or my desktop on my laptop, you might, if you're a hyper organized person, you would be like, oh my God, how in the world is she successful and how does she ever shit together? I don't even know some days. So time management's probably not my expertise to talk about, but essentially I do think it's important that you set some sort of schedule for yourself that fits for your life and your self-care routine. So I would say don't crack into, this was something I ran into early on that I struggled with, is I would get up and I was so excited about if I had any emails, the conversations I was having, that the first thing I would do was like, look at my Instagram, look at my emails, look at those things. I'd go down a rabbit hole and then I'd get drained before I did my workout, before I did my personal development, and it started to really throw me off. And so I would say, you know, master a morning routine that really fits for you, or some sort of routine, because I don't know what time you go to work out, or if you have a day job, I don't know any of this stuff, but find a routine that works for you, whether it's like getting up, self-care, workout, having your Shakeology, reading your personal development, or listening to an Audible, or whatever it is. Take care of you first, because honestly, you can't pour from an empty cup. You're never going to be able to give to others if you're not giving unto yourself. So if you're feeling drained at any point, I think that's just a big reality check that you have to have. And so, you know, if you're on a really tight time budget, get hyper focused on your power hour and find a power hour that works for you. So some people like to sit down. I'm sure you guys have probably seen some of the live power hours. If not, you can find one on YouTube. But, you know, they sit down and they do the business activity tracker. They time it 5 minutes, new connections, 10 minutes, follow-ups, 10 minutes, new invites. Like, honestly, like 50 to 75% of your business should be invites. And if 50 to 75% of your business is not new invitations, you're missing the mark. Okay. And I say new invitations, not follow-ups. Like, those are important, the fortunes and the follow-up, but you've got to be talking to new people constantly. So if you're doing all of your 4 vitals, like 25%, 25%, right? Just like evenly pushing them out. I don't think that's a good strategy. I think it's got to be like 75% inviting, and then it's got to be whatever is left. The last 12% has got to be the other things. And basically, when I see people not having success, it's just generally because they're not talking to enough people, or if they are talking to enough people, they're not having connected conversations. They're like sending out some icky copy paste thing, or just seems really generic. And outside of that, for your power hour, if you find that you're not, like, I find if I do, like most people do those live power hours, I find for myself, I'm really not productive in them, because I'm very Vata, so I'm very like squirrel mind, very spacey. So if I'm only doing like 3 of something, like, okay, I've got to add 5 people to my network, and then I've got to reset my clock another 5 minutes, and then I'm going to do this. Like, for me, it's very like a broken record, and there's no flow. So I do a lot of batch work. So like one day I'll sit down and I'll mastermind my next challenge group. And for that entire like next few days, all I'm going to do is invite and start a shit ton of conversations, right? All around that challenge, promoting the challenge, tons of invites, all of that. And then, you know, I'll probably do something the next few days. I'll add a bunch of more people to my network. I'll do a bunch of follow-ups, whatever else is on my form. I mean, the reality is I'm doing my social media throughout the day. You know, I'm doing my workout and having my shake when I have those planned in my day. I'm doing my personal development when I have it planned in my day. But so, I mean, really it's the inviting and following up, right? So I find that batching works the best for me to do everything at once. That way I'm like copy paste, but I can actually sit with it and read the conversations I've had with people and fine tune those responses, so they really connect with people and they see that I'm not just selling something. Tips for successful challenge groups. I like to have themed groups. Like my upcoming group right now for the 3-day refresh is a 14-day at-home rejuvenation retreat. It's a spring retreat. And so that's sort of my area of expertise. So I have different things planned for all 14 days. There's a 3-day cleanse sandwiched in towards the back. So I basically have like 7 days where I'm going to be getting them on, Fixate, so they can look at the food prep and how to stock their cabinets correctly. I'm going to do some live videos and talk about food as medicine and talk about some holistic modalities they can do at home and encourage them to do self-care routine. We'll have fun challenges every day. Like one day it'll be a water challenge. One day it'll be a challenge for them to pick from the 5 self-care routines that I give them, whether that's meditation, daily massage, dry skin brushing, or something like that. So one day it'll be like, pick a new one that you haven't done and do it this day. So simple things like that become interactive and force them to do things that they've never done before or that are out of their comfort zone, but do it in a way that it's not overwhelming for them. Like pick one and do it the rest of the time. It's like by the end of the 14 days, they're going to be overwhelmed. Like pick one new thing today and just do that one new thing. And if you like it, keep it in. And if not, try a new thing tomorrow. So I think having a theme with it and really just sharing value from your heart and what you know and what you feel really confident in. Use our tools. Like I'll be using Fixate, I'm using those resources. So use the resources as much as you need them. But I think themed groups are the best. And that way the languaging isn't like join my 80-day obsession challenge. It's like join my 80-day boot camp or join my whatever you want to call it, 80-day low impact, whatever program. So when you can really kind of break down what it is, I think it helps people a lot. And show up in your challenge group every single day, even if nobody else is showing up. It's not their job to show up. It's your job. You're the coach. You're the one that invited them there and you're the one getting paid. So don't be pissed if people don't show up. It's not their job. They didn't sign up for it. It's your agenda, not theirs, right? They just signed up to like do the home workout program. Okay, so tips for converting people who are hesitant about home workouts and or Shakeology. I don't know if I convert anyone that's hesitant about home workouts or Shakeology. Rather, I'm going to lean into their hesitations and ask them what their objections are so I can understand where they're at. And then I'm going to find the most creative avenue so that even if it's not a challenge pack, there's some other way that I can help them. So if they're dead set against a home workout, I'm going to find out why they're dead set against it. Maybe they already have a routine that they love at the gym. In that case, do they need something like Shakeology to supplement what they're doing? Do they need a pre-workout? Do they need the performance line? Are they CrossFitter, but they don't love their current shake or something like that? So it doesn't always have to be challenge packs. Those are important, but driving volume is equally as important, and gaining customer loyalty through people falling in love with our products doesn't always happen from starting with the challenge pack first. So conversely, if somebody wasn't into Shakeology, I'm not going to try to convince them to love Shakeology. I'm going to find something that fits. I'm going to ask them if they would like to get started on the performance line as an alternate option. I might ask them if there was like an allergy, if they would want to try something like our Optimal Wellness line, the Shakeology Boost, so they could get a stack that would have the greens and the focused energy and the digestive, the fiber one, the digestive health. So I'm going to ask questions to figure out what they need. I mean, you can turn 100 no's into $2,000. If you invited 100 people to join a free challenge and you started with like, just do the 2-week trial with a quarterly membership and it's not going to charge you. You got 100 people into your free challenge group and you talk to them up front and you say, here's what we're doing over the course of the next 7 days together or the next 14 days together, and you've got them on 21-day fix, shift shop, or anything that's longer than 21 days. When you let them know at the end of that 7-day trial or 10-day trial or whatever you're running, if you're like, hey, those of you that want to continue on with me in the group over here where I'm actually going to continue to add value every single day, it's time for you to upgrade to a challenge pack. If they don't, and they decide to stay on Beachbody On Demand to complete their program, even if they get the quarterly, which is $40, you get 40% of that. So, I mean, the math might be a tiny bit off, but 100 no's that stay on a quarterly is $2,000. Is that right? Yeah, it's $2,000 because you earn almost $20 for the quarterly. So you guys got to get creative also on how you're, like if somebody doesn't want something, how can you still help them? And it's still going to help you, right? And then how not to sound like a sales pitch while understanding your product and keeping up with changes in the health products out there, comparing Beachbody to other products. I'm not comparing Beachbody to any products. I'm not playing that game with anyone, and I don't care to. One, if anybody wants to like argue whether it's the best for them or whatever, that's on them. Like, I'm not trying to measure up to anybody else's thing. All I'm doing is sharing my journey with our programs and products, talking about what I love. And when people reach out to me because they're interested in something that I'm marketing or a result I had, it's because of these programs and products. It's because of our community. It's because of this thing. And that's all I can offer. Like, either you want it or you don't. You want the results I want? Use the tools I used to get them. If you think you have something superior, then keep doing your thing, because, you know, there's a saying, what you've always done, what you always get, right? Like, if you always do what you've always done, you're always going to get what you've always got. So it's like, if you're happy with that protein powder that you're already using and you're happy with the fact that you're not getting results, then keep doing that. But if you reached out to me because you really want to see a change and you're interested in our products and programs, then give it a shot. It's a 30-day money back guarantee, you know? So I think just owning the fact that, like, this is what's transformed your life. It's not the comparison game. There are plenty of amazing products and programs and different things out there. But this is what worked for you. And I think the more that you avoid trying to sell something and you're just authentically sharing your journey and showing people how happy and confident and how much fun you're having in a community of women that are driven by the same like love for positivity or whatever it is that speaks to your market, the sale takes care of itself. You don't have to do any hard sales. You might have to lean into objections or hesitations because, yeah, is there a bottom line? Yeah, like at some point you're gonna have to tell someone it's $180 or $160, right? But hopefully by that point you've already had enough conversations that you know their goals, you know their struggles, and you can relate to them and say, listen, I totally understand. I get where you're at 'cause I was there too. Here's what you get. You can show them a picture. You can break it down. You can say, you're going to get an annual to Beachbody On Demand. You're going to get a bag or a box of Shakeology. You're going to get the loops. You're going to get the sliders. You're going to get my coaching or anything else that you offer. If you have an incentive, right? You're going to get all this. You have the opportunity to enroll as a coach. It's $270 is the value. You're going to get it for $180 in a bundle. Like, that's insane. And it has a 30-day money back guarantee. So if you don't like it, you can always send it back. And I write this in every single email when I'm going to sign at the end before it's a step for them to let me know if they're ready or not. I write, if you do it for 30 days and you find it's not for you, you can absolutely package it up and send it back. No skin off my back, but I can guarantee you won't, because nobody ever does. You're going to have so much fun. You're going to get killer results, and you're going to be so happy that you got out of your way and got started. Like, when you write that and people read it, they're like, oh, I can send it back, but she's saying that nobody ever sends it back. Okay. And then, you know, you put your transformation photo or your transformation video in the post, in the signature card of the post, always. Because even I send that, my transformation story goes in every single email. Because if they get to the bottom of that email and they're like, I don't know, I don't really want to do it, and they scroll down just a centimeter more and they're like, there's her damn story again. Damn, right? That's how people get you. So make sure you're putting those on your posts. So that was all the questions that you guys had shot forward. I have about a little under 10 minutes. So if you guys have any other questions, I'm an open book, and I hope that helped you guys out.
So this is more of like perspective. What has been your biggest like takeaway from this business? What has your favorite part of it? How is your life changed? Like, what's your favorite part of that?
It's hard to boil down to one thing, right? Like, as you know, because as time goes on and you're more and more involved in the business, like, it's an evolution of what happens. I think in the very beginning, I was most excited about the fact that I was seeing results in my body. And then shortly thereafter that, I had friends join me for a challenge. So I was able to supplement my income. And I was seeing like my commission was essentially, at the time I was selling T25. So I got like $70 commission. And that was how much I was earning in a yoga class. So every time I'd sell a challenge pack, I was like, one less yoga class to teach. And I was tired. So this girl was all of a sudden like, how many freaking challenge packs can I sell so I don't have to get my ass to the yoga studio? So I started moving as many challenge packs as I could, I'll tell you. So that was the second thing, is like the fact that I was actually earning income was a big motivator for me. Third thing was that when I started to earn trips, that's like the biggest thing. I'm a huge trip person. And then fourth thing, which is now probably the best part of it, is the relationships and the opportunity I have to have significance and contribute, you know, going back to those 6 fundamental human needs. Like, I actually feel that my voice is of purpose and isn't just being lost every single day.
Eden said, oh, did you just answer that about the transformation story?
No, what did it say? I can't read the chat box.
Oh, sorry. Eden just said, transformation story, question mark, more than a picture. I think she was talking about how you end your emails, but I think you just meant like a photo, right?
No,
Like
I have an actual YouTube. So I took a bunch of photos and I dropped them into iMovie and put music over it and made a transformation story where I do vocal record over it and I share my story. So I say, you know, I wasn't always a skinny blonde that you see on the right. Like, you know, they got the 2 pictures. And then I go on to share my story about my back injury and learning about food as medicine and all of that. So it's an actual video that's like 2 minutes long.
Cool. All right. Any other questions, anybody?
Was this helpful at all?
Yes, that was amazing. I took 2.5 pages of notes. So every time I'm on a call with you, I get really excited.
Super, super informative. You're so good at explaining things and just making it like, just normal, like it makes sense. You know, it is what it is. And you just make it seem really just digestible. So thank you.
Yeah, well, I think, you know, one of the things that we all have to keep in mind is everybody has a hustle, right? Like there is no business out there that you can sign up for a free membership to. Not one, not any woman that you see with fitness, health, or anything else. If you sign up for like a free membership, like they've got a newsletter, click in here for your freebie. It's never free, right? It's like they're going to give you enough valuable content and then give you something to opt in at the end. Everybody knows that, you guys. It's not like shocking. That's how people run businesses, not just Beachbody coaches. Like, that's for anything. So know that when you're doing these things, like, don't feel bad that there is not just like, I'm offering a free week and then it's like an opt-in, right? Let them know about that opt-in up front. Like, hey, you're going to have these 5 days to do this, but then you'll have the opportunity to opt in for more, because that's the name of the game. Is they're going to see you as a professional. They're going to see that you're confident. They're going to see that you're serious. If you get in that boundary line of like, I don't really want to sell, I don't really want to put hard lines around things, it's like, people are just going to assume you're looking for freaking accountability partners. And then when you say there's a bottom line, they're going to be like, oh, I just thought you wanted to like do this thing together and like didn't really matter. Like, they don't have the same level of investment. So make sure that your agenda is clear, because in this day and age, it's not frowned upon. If anything, people are going to be like, that is badass that she actually is doing something very professional and not getting walked all over.
Love it. Cool. All right. Well, I think we should let Meredith go, and thank you so much. And obviously this is recorded, so we'll be sharing this with our team so they can get to watch this later. So thank you so much, Meredith.
Thanks for having me, you guys.
All right.
Can't wait to see you in Mexico.
Oh, yeah,
I know.
Mexico.
So much fun. Bye, guys.
Bye.